We're live. We're doing this thing tonight. Let me just check how we sound, ladies and gents, which I'm gonna find out if you can do prior to even starting this video. Gotta figure out if you can do that, but I am live right now. We're talking to each other. Come on in, share this video. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your kids. We're live. We're gonna talk about trust tonight. We're gonna talk about trust tonight. All the people that betrayed people, all your friends that betrayed you. We're gonna talk about it tonight. All right. Share this video. We're live. Hit that like button. All right, here we go. So, as you know, there's a lot of things in this world that's been going on. One of those things is betrayal. See a lot of betrayal every now and then. And let's talk about I want to talk a little bit about the Tekashi 6ix9ine situation, and then we're gonna go through our history about trust. I mean, we can even start off. We can start with this photo right here. Take a look at this photo. This photo says everything about trust. Am I right or wrong? You see the guy on the couch, his girlfriend's grabbing his shoulder, and behind the couch is the big dirt this man is doing. Dirty moves on the couch with his girlfriend. He's shaking and holding another woman's hand. This is the problem, folks. A lot of women, a lot of men are not faithful. A lot of friends are not faithful. Loyalty is hard to come by. Betrayal is easy to see. Talk to me. Talk to me tonight. Very easy to come by betrayal. Tekashi 6ix9ine, and these big rats out here. Betrayal. Be careful who you move with, because you might end up in jail. Let me tell you about it. Let's talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about it. You hear me? We're going to talk about it tonight. Hold on. Let me hear how we sounded before I get into this. Ooh, we sound clean. All right, we good. All right, we sound clean. I just have to hear how we sound, so excuse the echo. So let's get into it. Like, Tekashi 6ix9ine was this big rat that nobody knew from. And those of you that don't know what rat is basically somebody that joins an organization and snitches on somebody. We're gonna get into what the whole snitching thing is and my take on snitches. Do they get stitches? That's the main thing we gotta figure out tonight. Now, Tekashi 6ix9ine was a guy from, if I'm correct, Brooklyn. Stand up, BK. Stand up. BK, stand all the way up. Brooklyn, and he wanted to be a member of the Blood Gang. Blood Gang, those that don't know, are people that wear red. They wear red bandanas, red flags. They represent blood. Brotherly love, overriding. Yeah, it's an acronym, overriding depression, something like that. Salute, though. Tekashi 6ix9ine wanted to be a member of this gang. Specifically, the name of the gang was called Treyway Gang. Treyway Bloods, right? Tekashi 6ix9ine wanted to join this gang under any circumstances. This man wanted in on this gang. Tekashi 6ix9ine, his whole life has been a cornball. We know that. That's a fact. Tekashi 6ix9ine's always been a cornball. But through fame, when Tekashi gained fame, the Blood Gang in New York, Brooklyn, they let him in. And correct me if I'm wrong on this story, anyone. This is my take on it. They let him in. Why they let Tekashi 6ix9ine in, that big rat, is because he had money. See, a lot of people will be your friend when you have money or they see success coming your way. This is why we're going to get into the whole trust no one. They let Tekashi in the gang because he had money. That Green was coming in. That Benjamin was coming in. Benjamin Franklin, my friend, was coming in. You hear me? That's American bill. It's a $100 bill. My international people, those that don't know. It's a $100 bill. Tekashi was getting them Benjamins. When Tekashi got Benjamin Franklin's, these people befriended him, treated him good. Tekashi, as we know, was starting a lot of trouble with people in the music industry. Different gangs, opposing gang members. He was starting a lot of trouble. This gang that Tekashi joined continuously took up for Tekashi. They protected him. They stood by his side. They said nobody's going to harm Tekashi 6ix9ine under our watch because we're Treyway. We're standing with him. Let him do what he has to do. When I tell you, Tekashi, this was literally some of the biggest hip-hop beef in the last 2-3 years. I mean, Tekashi was starting big trouble with different gangs and some dangerous men. Nothing ever happened to Tekashi, though. People tried. People tried. Tekashi came to LA. They tried to fight him there. They tried to shoot him. People said they're going to kill him. They don't like this. They try to bring up rape cases on Tekashi with other women. They try to pull up dirt on Tekashi. Anyway, Tekashi's getting money. Eventually, one day, and we're going to get into it. There's a lot of stories I'm going to tell you guys tonight. A lot of good stories, man. So just lay back, relax, and listen. One day, Tekashi got kidnapped. Tekashi got kidnapped by one of his friends or members of his gang. Why? I don't know. But supposedly it's because he didn't pay the person or he owed the person some cash. Once again, I'm talking about the Benjamin Franklins. Tekashi 6ix9ine owed one of these gang members some cash. So they kidnapped his ass. And when they kidnapped Tekashi, rest assured, they were not playing a game. They were serious. They kidnapped him. They said they pistol whipped him. And eventually he broke away and got loose. It all kind of sounded like a hoax. Like, it sounded a little funny. People were kind of skeptical about it. I don't know how true it was. But we do know he was kidnapped. Got pistol whipped and got away. Don't know how you get away from somebody that's kidnapped you. And some bad kidnappers, man. It's horrible. I don't know what they're doing out there. But must have been their first time. But anyway, he got away. These were his own friends, the people in the gang that kidnapped him. Later on, this Treyway gang, they all get indicted for different charges. At this time, there was a lot of turmoil and the gang was falling apart. Brooklyn, New York, Treyway, Tekashi, Big Rat 6ix9ine was falling apart. And when they were falling apart and everyone got arrested, that's why some of the most notorious gangsters in the world say. Before I get to it, a lot of these movies, Casino, Goodfellas, all these things, yes, they're very violent movies. We understand that. Violence is no good. Never was, never will, never can be good. But you can learn a lot from it. For example, how to stay your ass away from it. What not to do to experience any violence. You can learn a lot from violence. So violence is never good, but you can learn from these movies about betrayal and friendship. Now, when all these guys got arrested, they all went to jail. And the one thing you got to be careful about when you do a crime with somebody or you're in a criminal organization is you better make damn sure you don't got no rats around you. Because they're going to smell the cheese. They're going to smell the cheese. You hear me? They're going to smell the cheese. And Tekashi smelled it. Tekashi smelled that cheese and he ratted bigger than Mickey Mouse. You hear me? Tekashi 6ix9ine was indicted and they threw football numbers at him. If you know what football numbers are, folks, it's when the feds indict you, when the police officers arrest you and the federal or district attorney, they tell you, listen, you're going to go away for some time unless you snitch and rat on some of your friends. We're going to give you 56, 42. Football numbers are usually double-digit numbers. When they throw double-digit numbers at you, you're in trouble. You're not going to see the light of day for a long time. And I'm not sure how many people in here have been to jail or prison, but it's not pretty. I've never been there before. Thank God. Never want to go, never will. But I am telling you right now, it's not pretty. Stay away from jail and prison. Tekashi knew that. Tekashi also knew, since he was a troublemaker, if his ass goes to jail, he's going to have to face a lot of people and potentially die in prison. So he said, I got to get out of here. The only way to get out of here is these people that protected me and let me in their gang, the people I was begging to be in their gang, is to snitch on them. And what did Tekashi do? He did exactly that. He snitched on them. Big rats. And this is why, folks, that's story number one. You don't trust anyone. These people let him in a gang. He was committing this criminal activity with him. And to top it off, to make it even worse, here's another story about Tekashi. One day, Tekashi got in a problem with one of these guys, an opposing gang member, Chief Keef's cousin. He got in a problem with Chief Keef's cousin. He told someone, listen, I got $20,000. Whoever takes Chief Keef's cousin out, whoever kills him, I got $20,000 for you. Somebody said, okay, cool, I'm down. I'll do it. After the guy attempted to take Chief Keef's cousin's life by doing a drive-by shooting, Tekashi, the same guy that hired the shooter, the guy to go shoot Chief Keef's cousin, told on the guy. That's like you hiring somebody to connect illegal cable in your house. You pay them. Then when the police say, yo, what happened? You say, oh, he did it. How dare you? Do you know how crazy that sounds? How you hire someone to do something illegal for you, then tell on them when the cops come. Listen, this is the rat. These are the people. If you listen to me, folks. I'm getting pissed off. Listen to me. This is why I hate it. If you're not about that street life, stay away from it. If you know you're not a criminal, don't get involved. Get money the legitimate way. And most importantly, if you can't sit down and do the time, God damn it, don't do the crime. Can I get a round of applause? Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. You understand me? Meaning, if you know you're going to do something illegal, because everybody watching, I know you did something illegal before. It's nothing new. Everybody did wrong in their life. If you know you're going to do something illegal, do not do it if you know you cannot do the time. Because you will get caught eventually. And Tekashi got caught. When they start throwing them football numbers at him, he ratted on people. Tekashi told. He sung like a bird. Now I'm going to tell you right now. Me personally, I never want to get involved in those kind of things. Criminal activity. Not good for me. Never good. It was good. Never can be. All right? Let me tell you some other stories. I once had a friend. Big sucker. He's probably listening right now. And if he's not, I hope he hears this. He's a big sucker. He's an ex-friend of mine. This ex-friend of mine, I was dating a girl in high school. Never forget her name, Crystal. Beautiful little thing. Dating Crystal in high school. Everything was going well. Until it wasn't. Crystal and I ended up breaking up, unfortunately. And this was my best friend. This ex-friend of mine. And he went ahead and dated Crystal immediately after us breaking up. This is my best friend. Literally lived across the street. Big sucker. He's out there. He dated my girlfriend as soon as I broke up with her. And that goes to show you trust no one. The people that don't clap when you win are your biggest enemies. Beware of those that don't clap when you win. This sucker was sitting here watching until I broke up with this girl. And this is how these people are. There's people that you think are your friends. They're really not. They're your enemies. And they're in your circle. Beware. You hear me? You understand me? There's people in your circle that you think are your friends and are really not. They want you to lose. Some people are only your friend because they're too afraid to be your enemy because they know how powerful you are. They know what you can deprive them of. The opportunities you grant. Beware. That's the second story of trust no one. And throughout history, we've seen this time and time again, folks. Can we give another example of trusting no one? How about Julius Caesar and Brutus? Anybody know that story? Anyone know that story of Julius Caesar and Brutus? Julius Caesar had a best friend named Brutus. Julius Caesar was the king at the time. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that in Rome. Big king. Everybody knows Julius. One of the most famous ones. He was doing his thing. And what happened? Someone's jealous ass was sitting in the dark like my friend did with my ex-girlfriend. Sitting in the dark, watching. And the moment he got close enough where he knew he could make a move, Brutus stabbed Julius Caesar in his back, his best friend, and he killed him. Go do the research, folks. I'm telling you nothing but truth. Julius Caesar died because Brutus killed him. Very sad story, but very true. It's the world we live in. Be damn careful of who you call your friend. Don't use that term too loosely, man. You give somebody that title, they start expecting stuff. You have to understand the way of the world, the way of the man, the way of the woman, the way of the human being is very, very dangerous at times. Somebody can kill you with a smile on their face. I learned my lesson from trust. And I must say, it taught me a very good one. Now, those are some very, very sad stories of betrayal. But things happen to people when you betray them. I believe in something called karma. I believe in a saying, what goes around, damn sure comes back around. Can I get an amen? And these people that betray you usually get what's coming to them. Now, let's start off with Tekashi. Do you really think Tekashi's gonna last a day in these streets when he comes out of prison? Tekashi, they say, is set to come out of prison next year. Is it this year? It's probably this year, next year. He's coming out. He's not gonna last, folks. He's not gonna last. Someone is going to take him out. Now, I hope, I'm not wishing death on anyone, but dude, this guy told on an entire gang of people. Now, most likely, Tekashi 69 is going to go under witness protection. He is going to go under witness protection. I know that. I know for a fact he's going to go under witness protection. They're not just going to let, anybody get to him. But I'm telling you right now, people are going to come after him. And it's a dangerous thing. This is why you don't get involved with criminal activity. For example, Nicky Barnes. Nicky Barnes, if you don't know, was a famous drug lord. I guess you could say, yeah, famous drug lord that also started doing some big ratting. Opened his lips. And he told folks, he sung like a canary. You hear me? And when Nicky Barnes did that, people came looking for him. Let me tell you the story of Nicky Barnes. Big drug lord. Nickname was Mr. Untouchable because every time he committed a crime, every time the cops got closer, too bad they weren't close enough. Nobody could ever pin him. Nobody could ever take out Nicky. Nobody. And it was just tough to nail him. They couldn't nail Nicky Barnes, so they named him Mr. Untouchable in the front of magazines. This is a drug lord that was in the front of magazine covers. Now, one day, like I always say, if you do crime, eventually it's gonna catch up to you. They caught him. And when they caught Nicky Barnes, he sat down. While Nicky Barnes was in prison, listen, I'm telling you, the story never changes. It's always the same thing. While Nicky Barnes was in prison, somebody slept with his girlfriend from his crew, one of his best friends. He was screwing his girlfriend and started dating her. Crazy story. Nicky Barnes got word of this, that somebody screwed my girlfriend on the outside. That's why this episode is called Trust No One, because you can't. You hear me? You hear me tonight? You can't. Nicky Barnes got word that somebody was screwing his girlfriend real bad. You hear me? Someone was screwing his girlfriend real bad. This pissed him off because you can't do anything when you're behind bars. You're in prison. What do you expect? What do you expect? So, after getting word of this, Nicky Barnes called the CEO, which is correction officer. Hey, I need to talk to you for a second. Correction officer says, yeah, what's going on? So I'm ready to sing like a canary bird tonight. Says, why? I'm ready to rat on my friends. They committed some crimes that they didn't get caught for, but I did. And because my man is out there screwing my ex-girlfriend, not even my ex-girlfriend, my girl. There was a girl at the time. I guess they broke up because he went to jail. Screwing my girl, I'm going to do some big ratting tonight. They said, Nick, are you sure? I'm ready to rat. Big rats. So what did he do? He ratted. And this is the crazy part of the story. Get back, sit back for this one. Here we go. Here's the crazy part of the story. When Nicky Barnes did all that rat and juice. I don't respect it. I never respected rats. You know why? Because you're in the criminal organization. You're in the criminal world. You're around criminals. You chose to be there. No one forced you to be there. You chose that. And then when you get caught, you sing better than Whitney. That's what you do. You sing better than Whitney Houston herself. And I just don't respect that. That's sucker stuff. You know, like how you choose to do criminal activity and then tell on people when you get caught. Just stay away from crime, period. Stay away from violence, period. It's not good. If you know you can't do it. Now, anyway, getting back to Nicky. Nicky Barnes told on his friends. And you know what they did? This is so crazy. When I heard this story, I was like, wow. He told so much information that the police, district attorney, the feds, whatever you want to call them, the big lawyers, the big juice, they let Nicky out of jail and put his friends in jail. That's how much telling he did that evening, folks. He was singing to the choir in the world. Had to take a little pause right there and let that sink in. Had to let that sink in, let you guys understand that. This, I'm trying to tell you, is a revolving door. Do not get involved with crime. It's a revolving door. It doesn't stop. Eventually, someone's going to tell on you. Don't you see it? That's why a lot of people say, listen, I don't do crime. I'm doing it alone. So nobody can tell but me. This happens all the time. So anyway, eventually, Nicky comes out, gets out of jail. His friends go in. Ladies and gentlemen, right now it's let me see something real quick. Right now it's 2020. These men have been in jail since the 70s. You hear me? Since the 70s they've been in jail. Do you know how many years that is? The 70s, 80s? Do you know how many years that is in jail? How many years? 30 plus? Hang it up. It's disgusting. That's quite disgusting. You hear me? Hit that like button if I'm telling the truth. Hit that like button if you just came in the room. It is disgusting. These people have been in jail for 30, 40 years. Nicky Barnes got out of jail and went straight under protective custody, PC. Involuntary, of course, IPC. Involuntary protective custody. Nicky Barnes went under. And he vanished. Witness protection. There we go. That's the name of it. Witness protection. He went under witness protection and vanished. Nicky Barnes lived out his normal final days working a normal 9-to-5 job and eventually died. So some rats do live a normal life. Some snakes do. Sometimes in life, the bad guy finishes last. Usually the good don't. That's the name of the game. That's the name of life. That's how it goes sometimes, folks. So the key is be careful of who you let in your circle. Because if they go down, they're going to take you with them. That's usually how people are. That's usually how the dirty get down. You understand me? That's usually how they get down. So just be very, very careful of the people you let in your circle. Be very, very careful. Some of you right now may not even know it. You may not know it. But I'm telling you, some of you right now got girlfriends and boyfriends that are doing dirty things behind your back. Doesn't have to be sex. Could be stealing, could be lying. But some of you got them. And you don't know what to do about it. Some of you don't even know. Some of you do. The question is, or the answer is rather, the solution is keep it real with thyself. You hear me? That's all you got to do. Watch people. Watch her. Watch him. That's it. And if you're with somebody you can't trust, get out of that relationship. Whether that's a friendship, business relationship, or a normal relationship with a boyfriend or girlfriend. Marriage, whatever it is, get out of it. That's all I want to tell you folks tonight. But before I close, I want to tell you one more thing. You know what else happens to rats? 9 out of 10 times, they usually get handled or dealt with. The mafia has a old school way of handling rats. The Italian mafia, or Italian mob, kills them. That's what they do. They kill them. That's what happens to rats. 9 out of 10 times they get killed. Same thing happens in the hood. They get killed. Look at Eric Holder. Now, I'm not saying Eric Holder was a rat. Actually, he was. Nipsey said it. Nipsey Hussle said it best. Nipsey Hussle said it best. The story of Nipsey Hussle and Eric Holder. I'm going to close out on this one. I got two more, actually. I got another good one to tell you guys. I love telling you guys these stories. So much knowledge to spread. Why not spread it? Like peanut butter on a sandwich. All right? Story of Eric Holder and Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was hanging outside in front of his store in Slauson and Crenshaw. He had a store out there. Nipsey Hussle, famous rapper from the Rolling 60s Crip gang. Nipsey was very well respected throughout the world, not just in Compton or Inglewood. He was well respected throughout the world. There's a known rat by the name of Eric Holder that came around Nipsey, and Nipsey said, hey, listen, you know you're not supposed to be here. You're a rat. I can't be seen with you. You're not good over here. Eric Holder took offense. Said, let me explain something to you. When you call somebody a rat or snitch, it's a very, very big condemnation. Very, very huge form of disrespect. So be careful with that word, rat and snitch and traitor. Be very careful. In the streets, it's a very, very dangerous thing to call somebody that. People die behind that word. It's a very serious accusation. Very serious. A lot of men and women have died behind that term, rat and snitch. And Eric Holder was supposedly a snitch. That's what Nipsey said. Nipsey said, you're a snitch. You're a rat. You're not supposed to be here. What are you doing here? New folks, if you're listening, you just came in, hit that like button, smash it, share this with your friends. We're talking about trusting no one. Hit that like button. Don't be afraid. It won't bite. The dislike button will bite. So like I was saying, Eric Holder was known for ratting. And Nipsey told him that. Eric Holder said, okay, cool. That's how you gonna talk to me? I told you guys before we get to it, it's a huge form of disrespect. I got something to tell you guys. You guys probably don't know about this case, so keep listening. This is a good story. It gets juicy. Took it as a big form of disrespect. When he heard this, Eric Holder said, okay, cool. He walked away. A few moments later, Eric Holder goes to the car, which a woman was waiting in the car for him. He gets a gun, comes back, and as y'all know, brutally kills Nipsey Hussle. Shoots him several times in the torso, in the legs. Nipsey Hussle hits the ground. He shoots him again. Eric Holder runs away because he's scared he's going to get caught by the police. He runs away, but just to make sure Nipsey Hussle is dead, he comes back, shoots Nipsey Hussle again, several more times, runs away again, comes back, shoots Nipsey Hussle a few more times and kicks him in his head, then runs away again. This was a very brutal death. I'm sorry that this brother had to go out this way. I love Nipsey, man, for everything he did outside of rap. And it's very sad Nipsey also had to go out like that. But this is what happens when you give someone that title, rat, and when you live the gang culture. Nipsey was taken away. So sometimes the bad guy wins. The bad guy wins a lot of the times. It's very unfortunate, but that's what happens. That's exactly what can happen, folks. That's why I say trust no one. I really feel Nipsey should have had some security, some guards, or somebody there just watching his back, because this big rat got to him. But like I said earlier in this episode, if you were listening, rats get dealt with sometimes, folks. They get dealt with. And you know how this guy got dealt with? Why, after he killed Nipsey, the streets were hunting for him. Unfortunately, they didn't catch him. I was really crossing my fingers and hoping the streets would do justice, but they didn't this time. After all the brothers and sisters they do kill, they couldn't kill this guy, which sucks. So they didn't kill him. Police ended up arresting him. Police took him to jail. And but you know what did happen to this big rat that ended up killing a legendary person, a hero? Legends don't die, man. They multiply, like Tupac, in the word of Tupac Shakur. Brothers don't die, we multiply. Do you know what happened to this big rat? This is crazy. I don't know if you guys know this story. So here we go. Listen to this good juice. This guy, the streets couldn't get him because he was in prison. So they ended up getting his family members. Hit that like button. Stop playing with me. Don't play with me tonight, folks. I'm giving you jewels. The streets ended up killing Eric Holder, which is the killer of Nipsey Hussle. They ended up killing his family members because they couldn't get to him. This is what happens when you're involved in gang culture and you end up snitching or ratting or have that label. If they can't get you, they're going to get the people that are closest to you. How crazy and scary is that? That you have a son, a daughter, a niece, a nephew that's involved in gang culture and you have nothing to do with it. You're a normal civilian and you end up getting shot, killed, stabbed, murdered, raped because of that person in your family. This is why I say trust no one. Be very careful. They ended up killing his father. Just recently, they killed his father. These gang members ran up in the father's house, murdered him. Police came and police said, hey, we don't know how he died. Very strange death. They can't tell the cause of death. It doesn't seem like any trauma or anything, which is scary. We don't know how he died. Then they got his aunt or his uncle. They got his cousins. I know they killed his cousin. I think they killed his brother and sister as well. They couldn't get him, so they got the family members. So before you think of doing something illegal, be very careful. A lot of times you're going to get caught. You're going to get caught. Last story of the night. We're going to close out with this one, folks. Trust no one. I need you to share this video so somebody hears this. And the solution to trusting no one or to trusting people is trust your goddamn self. And be careful of the people and the snakes, the big cobras. Those big anacondas you let in your circle. Big snakes. Be careful of them. And be careful of the rats. Make sure you keep some snakes around for the rats. In the words of Little Baby. Now, the solution to that is trust yourself. Move alone. Go to a movie by yourself. Go to dinner by yourself. Why do you always have to be with a group of friends? Man, when I started hanging out alone, nothing but pure joy. You hear me? Nothing but pure joy. Get a girlfriend or boyfriend. Even them. Sometimes you can't trust them. But learn to be alone. Learn to love yourself. It may sound cliche, may sound funny, but until you really understand that, you will stop laughing at what I just said. You really will understand it. The power of accepting yourself, and the power of loving yourself, and the power of not being afraid to be alone. Very powerful feeling. That's why you see a lot of people jump from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship. They can never be alone. They always need somebody because they're not happy with themselves. How did I just rap? I just sounded like Quavo from the Migos right now. They're not happy with them. They're not happy with themselves. That's why they jump from relationship to relationship. You hear me? Be able to be alone. Because you never know when that man or woman's going to leave you. You hear me? Can I get a like? Can I get a like for that? You never know when that man or woman is going to leave you. Hit that like button, folks. Stop playing. Share this video. So last story of the evening. There were some young kids from New York. 16, 17 years old. Even 15. And they all wanted to be a part of the Italian mob. These are some Italian boys. Wanted to be a part of the Italian mob. Some of you may know the story as I go on and tell you. They all wanted to be a part of the Italian mob. So, one day, let me start here. In order to be a part of the Italian mob, you have to prove yourself. Prove yourself worthy. What makes you worthy to be a part of this gang? This family, this culture. La Cosa Nostra. What makes you worthy of that? You have to prove yourself. You have to harm somebody. So, these kids were committing crimes for the mob. Committing different crimes. Anything the mob asked, they did. Around the clock, 24/7. The mob, if you're walking down the block and one of the mob captains or bosses says, shoot that guy, shoot that girl, you rest assured you're dead. That's how it went down, folks. That's how it went down. Very unfortunate, but that's how things happen. Now, one day, one of the members was told to do something and got into a little argument with one of the mob bosses. Remember, it's like 3 or 4 of these kids. No, there's 5 of them. It was about 4 or 5 of them. One day, one of the kids got in a little argument with one of the mob bosses. So he ended up shoving the mob boss. Now, anybody that knows anything about mob or Italian mafia knows you're never supposed to lay your hands on a made man. Those of you that don't know what a made man is, it's someone in the mafia that becomes a boss in the mafia that you can't touch. You're not supposed to lay your hands on a made man. It's just a well-known fact. So after doing this, the kid knew he was dead meat. So the kid pushed the mafia boss, and everybody stood there for a second in silence, like, yo, this dude he just pushed this dude. The kid walked away, ran away rather. And the mafia boss said to the other 4 kids, you see your friend just pushed me, right? Yeah. You guys already know what to do. I need that kid taken out by the end of this week. Keep in mind, these kids all grew up together. All of them. Since they were babies, they all grew up together. He said to him, I need that kid taken out by the end of this week. So the 4 kids consulted amongst each other. And you know what plan they came up with? This is so crazy. You know what plan they came up with to take out their best friend? Could you picture growing with somebody, 4 or 5 friends, since you were babies? You grew up with each other and you want to join the mob now? So you know who they send to take him out? Because nobody could find him. After 2-3 days, nobody knew who he was. They say, yo, we know what to do. Send the one that's closest to him out of the 4 of us. They sent his real close tight friend. He went there. He knocked on the door. He said, hey, what's up, man? Hey. He said, yo, what, you been hiding out, right? Yeah, man. They found this place. He came inside. He said, yo, can I get you a drink of water or anything? The kid that was hiding. This is the kid. I'm talking about the kid that was hiding. He said, can I get you a sip of water or anything? He says, yeah, sure, man, sure. He goes to the fridge to get his best friend a sip of water. He's nervous, but he's happy to see his best friend. He knows his best friend's not going to kill him or do anything. The best friend's telling him, yo, they're looking for you, man. They're trying to kill you and stuff. He says, I know, that's why I've been hiding out. As soon as he goes to the fridge to get a glass of water, his best friend pulls the gun to the back of his head and blows it like a Thanksgiving turkey. You hear me? He blows it. He blows his head off. He blows his best friend's head off, and the best friend never saw it coming because what? It's the first word of this episode. He trusted him. Folks, I'm here to tell you today, my name is Yao, and you're watching Yao on Demand. I trust no one. Your mother will put you in jail for the rest of your life. Trust no one fully other than God. The big man upstairs will never lead you astray. Apart from that, trust no one else. Forget everyone else. Be comfortable with yourself. Learn who you are. Some of you don't even know who you are. That's the sad part. A lot of you don't. You're going to school, you're doing classes because your parents tell you to. You're working a job you hate. You're not even living your dreams or chasing your dreams or pursuing it or trying to. You need to learn who you are and what you like and what you dislike. That way you don't fall into these traps. Now, this is all criminal activity I'm talking about, so hopefully you guys are not doing this, and if you are, stop now. But that's my word of advice to you guys. That man died, and the kids got into the mafia. Later on, they all end up going to jail, and then they came out later, and now they're not in it anymore. They kind of retired, they said, quote unquote. But everyone knows the mafia is something you can't just stop, and if you usually do want out, the only way out is death or life in prison. And even with that, if you even resign, you're still dead. So who knows if they're in it, but they said they quit. Anyway, that kid ended up dying, and that was a result of that, folks. So I hope you learned a valuable lesson tonight to trust no one but yourself and the big man upstairs. Learn from this episode. Hope somebody else can. Share this video on your Facebook. Share it to your friends and your family through text. Smash that like button. Hit that like button if you're watching this. And last but not least, it's never least, subscribe to the channel to hear more good news, lessons, see those vlogs, movie reviews, show reviews, and everything else. I love you folks for listening tonight. I'm going to hit the sack. I'm out of here. And you're listening to Yao on Demand. Let's vibe out to the music like we do every live stream. Enjoy the sounds of the night.